Monday, champion Jared Watson faces Harrison Seidel from Burbank, California, and New York City's Annabelle Winter.
The pain in my back and hip have prevented me from walking. I really miss exercising.
Are you finding yourself sitting on the sidelines because of your chronic pain? At Integrated Pain Solutions, we use high-intensity laser therapy to treat the root cause of your chronic pain.
I would recommend Integrated Pain Solution for anyone who has pain.
Choose relief today. Schedule your no-cost consultation at 844-200-PAIN or visit integratedpainsolutions.com.
Ultomiris is for adults with generalized myasthenia gravis who are anti-acetylcholine receptor antibody positive. It is lasting control over your GMG symptoms. And Ultomiris is the only long-acting GMG treatment with 8 weeks of freedom between infusions. Ultomiris can lower your immune system's ability to fight infections, increasing your chance of serious, life-threatening meningococcal and other types of infections. If not vaccinated, you must receive meningococcal vaccines at least 2 weeks before starting Ultomiris. And if Ultomiris is urgent, you should also receive 2 weeks of antibiotics with your vaccines. Before starting Ultomiris, tell your doctor about all of your medical conditions and medications. Ultomiris can cause reactions such as back pain, tiredness, dizziness, limb discomfort, or bad taste. Ultomiris is here. Ask your doctor about managing your generalized myasthenia gravis with Ultomiris.
Live on NBC 12, this is News Watch 12 at 5.
Good evening, I'm Jessica Jukic. The Oneida County Sheriff's Office is investigating a deadly rollover crash in the town of Peel. The crash happened just before 5:30 p.m. Thursday night on Highway 45 north of County Highway C. Authorities say the 60-year-old man from Ontonagon, Michigan was ejected from the vehicle. EMS performed life-saving measures, but he passed away. The man's name has not been released until family has been notified. Several agencies responded to the crash and an investigation is underway into the cause. A timber purchaser has pled guilty to timber theft on the Washburn district of the Chequamegon-Nicolet National Forest. A federal judge has ordered the purchaser to pay more than $37,000 in restitution and fines and say they were sentenced to 2 years of probation. The USDA Forest Service was made aware of the situation in the fall of 2021. The investigation eventually resulted in a federal grand jury returning a 3-count indictment of timber theft and damage. On January 6th, the timber purchaser entered a plea agreement and pled guilty to 1 count of timber theft, sentenced by a federal judge on April 5th, 2023. All contracts held by the timber purchaser were later canceled, and they were also responsible for additional costs to the Forest Service. A Wausau man has been sentenced to 9 years in federal prison for distributing meth. 41-year-old Lawrence Laverne was sentenced yesterday for distributing 5 grams or more of meth and possessing a firearm as a felon. On February 21st, 2021, Laverne sold 24 grams of meth to an informant in a hotel room in Rothschild. Later that day, officers executed a search warrant at the same hotel room, and Laverne leapt out of the second-story hotel room window. He was later taken into custody, and 233 grams of meth was found in the hotel room. Law enforcement later found 2 firearms that belonged to Laverne at a house in Anago. Conrad, the sun's peeking out. It's kind of muggy outside.
Yeah, it is. We did have a couple of passing showers and thunderstorms in the area, some pretty heavy rain in some spots, so things were better earlier in the day. Tomorrow, once again, will be that type of day where we're going to have a little bit of sunshine, a little bit of rain once again. Taking a look outside, look at this cool little graphic we have showing you. You need around a 50-mile-an-hour updraft wind to have around a quarter-size hail. And then once the hail gets too big, it starts to fall. And then it gets much, much bigger than that. We're talking tennis, baseball size, and even grapefruit size hail, but that is very, very rare. None of that's going to be happening for us. Maybe pea size, maybe up to quarter size hail into those overnight hours and into the day tomorrow. Once again, there was a severe thunderstorm warning in Lincoln County. That is long gone now as these storms are continuing to move down south right now. Still having some power, a little thunder, a little bit of lightning, but non-severe right right now. Winds, not too bad. We do have a couple of pockets of some windy conditions, breezy. And breezy conditions are pretty much happening here in town with only a 6-mile-an-hour wind. Look at these temperatures, 70s, 80s. To the west, we're looking at cooler temperatures, of course. There's a little bit of rain falling. It's really keeping things cold. We were hovering in those low to mid-80s earlier today. Tonight, though, we're looking at temperatures well above average once again with some scattered showers and thunderstorms. We'll be hovering in those mid-50s. Jessica?
Thank you, Conrad. Lawmakers voted Thursday to eliminate Governor Tony Evers' proposed $750 million investment in broadband. The move would be the first time in a decade that the legislature hasn't set aside funding for broadband expansion. But Republicans say that while they support expanding broadband, it didn't make sense to spend state money since the federal government is expected to spend between $700 million and $1.1 billion on broadband expansion in Wisconsin. Governor Evers called for setting aside the $750 million in state broadband funding using a share of Wisconsin's budget surplus. Data from the FCC says that last year about 460,000 Wisconsin locations were underserved, meaning they lack access to at least 2 broadband providers. Of those, 59,000 locations are unserved, meaning they lack access to even a single provider. On Thursday, the Wisconsin Election Commission approved a Nebraska company to sell new electronic voting system to local governments. The new systems include enhanced software and security capabilities. The commission's vote approved the sale of 2 systems. One is a paper-based digital scan voting system. The second, supporting sending unofficial results on Election Day through a secure file transfer. A memo to commission members said staff tested the equipment over 3 mock elections and found that, quote, they comply with applicable state and federal requirements. The memo also said the systems can run a transparent, fair, and secure election. Marshfield Clinic Health System is beginning construction on a new regional cancer center at Marshfield Medical Center, Dickinson. They will be adding a new 8,000 square foot structure and remodeling 2,000 square feet of existing space in the facility. The new regional cancer center will provide increased access to care, state-of-the-art treatment technology, and improved amenities for cancer patients. Some added features are heated massage infusion chairs, a patient nutrition area, and confidential consultation rooms. The project will begin on Monday, June 5th, and will not impact Dickinson's current cancer center. A mass shooting can happen at any given moment. While it's a hard topic to talk about, it's important to talk to your kids about it. So far in the U.S., there have been more than 200 mass shootings this year. In Portage County, a local police department is helping a school prepare for the worst. Newswatch 12's Mohammed Abdulkawi has the story.
I'm here at Pacelli High School in Stevens Point, where today they hosted an active training shooter exercise for local law enforcement and staff members to make sure they're prepared for the situation.
This is my 25th year in education. I've never done anything like this.
Larry Tice, the principal of the school, was one of the many staff members in attendance. He described this scary topic as something that needs to be talked about.
The staff throughout Pacelli, there's a lot going through their heads right now. They're being trained on something we're not used to talking about. Law enforcement being in our buildings. It's something that's just, it's not normal.
The day consisted of groups moving from station to station, learning about various topics and working to get on the same page. Administrative Lieutenant Joseph Johnson from the Stevens Point Police Department believes teamwork is the most important thing.
The 3 agencies, as far as incident command goes, has probably never really worked together. We all understand what what our roles are individually, but for all of us to come together and really communicate and be effective is going to be key.
While this may be just a simulation, Johnson believes the more prepared people are for the situation, the better.
When it's real life, whenever these scenarios happen, no matter the amount of training you have, it's still gonna be difficult to deal with. However, as much as we can mentally prepare for this and physically prepare for it, even if it's a little bit, is better than nothing.
Local law enforcement as well as EMS will continue their training next week at 2 other different schools. Reporting in Stevens Point, I'm Mohammed Abdulkawi, Newswatch 12.
Very important training. Thank you, Mohammed. The U.S. will narrowly avoid defaulting on its debt. Coming up after the break, we'll tell you how this may affect America's economy. That's after Weather with Conrad right here on Newswatch 12.
Get ready for more Fast Play, Wisconsin. During the month of June, Badger 5 players will have a 1 in 5 chance of getting a $1 Fast Play 5X bonus ticket. You heard that right. Badger 5 players could also score a $1 Fast Play bonus ticket. Fast Play is a new group of lotto games offering a progressive jackpot, which starts at $10,000 and grows with each ticket sold until won. This limited time offer is available now, only during the month of June and only at Wisconsin lottery retailers.
The GMC Sierra with hands-free driving. Yeah, it rocks. Or get 0.9% APR plus over 1,200 trade assistance and no monthly payments for 90 days on Sierra 5.3-liter EcoTech 3 V8 light-duty models.
That was the best thing I've seen this season.
I'm speechless. It was perfection.
You told me you dream about getting a golden buzzer.
Let's see some life-size Hot Wheels. And don't disappoint my mama. It doesn't have to be street legal. It just needs to be awesome. Insane.
Hot Wheels Ultimate Challenge, Tuesday on NBC.
When life takes a challenging turn. When you need specialized health care. When every decision needs to be informed, certified specialty nurses make a difference. Did you know certification is a choice? Certified specialty nurses have demonstrated knowledge competencies above and beyond their licensing exam. Dedicated to lifelong learning, their specialized skills include the latest developments in patient care. If you have questions, they have answers. Trust in certified specialty nurses to meet your healthcare needs. They are passionate about their specialty and advocate for you and your family. Throughout your life, no matter what you are faced with, from primary to critical and advanced care, certified specialty nurses and advanced practice nurses make a difference. Learn more at certifiednurses.org.
Happy Friday and welcome back, my friends. The weekend around the corner. How exciting. And the weather will be warm. Get ready. It's going to be pretty much hot, let's say, especially into Sunday. Once again, mid to upper 80s. But a couple of thunderstorms were passing by our region a couple of hours ago. Now it's down south and well out of our region. There was actually a severe thunderstorm warning in Lincoln County for around 20 to 30 minutes. But that storm is done for now. So we'll keep an eye out overnight tonight into tomorrow, but most of the United States is pretty active right now. We do have some severe storms in Oklahoma, Nebraska, and in Texas right now. So those are popping off and continuing to strengthen. So tomorrow, once again, will be that type of day where we will see a little bit of sunshine, and then the clouds start to roll in and more chances of showers, and even a couple of isolated thunderstorms will be in the region. And then finally, by Sunday, things will be wrapping up, and we will be clear. We're going to see a good amount of sunshine. First, we need to deal with all this rain. Some places might even get over an inch of rain. Really depends where those heavier bands of thunderstorms set up. It looks like maybe Tomahawk might barely get anything, and here in Rhinelander, maybe close to an inch of rain. So with these isolated thunderstorms, this is exactly what happens. One spot might get well over an inch of rain, and only 30 miles away, pretty much nothing. So we'll keep an eye out for any severe storms going on through pretty much the next 36 hours. Dew points are also high, so that's not a good combination. Definitely feels sticky and muggy outside right now as we are pretty much near the tropical level. Tropical level is at around 70 degrees for our dew points. We're in the 50s, mostly 60s right now, so it is definitely feeling really sticky, muggy outside, and it will be feeling like this through the weekend. But hey, better news is on the way. Look at Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday. This is great news for us us. It's going to feel much drier. Temperatures are going to be a little bit cooler. So definitely type of weather where we could open up the window and turn off those ACs for next week. Temperatures, though, today, we're back in the 80s. And, of course, with that rain falling, things are cooling down. We're back at around 81 degrees here in town. Tomahawk, though, only in the mid-70s as they just got finished up with a little bit of rain. But even west of that, some 60s are popping up there right now, and they were in the 80s not that long ago. This is exactly what these scattered thunderstorms could do. Temperatures could fall around 20 degrees in just 1 hour. But overall, though, most of the United States is very warm. We have some 90s in the Northeast. Down south, of course, some 80s and 90s. And even look at Chicago, close to 90 degrees right now. Canada as well has some 70s and 80s. So that ridge is continuing to pretty much take over the eastern half of the United States. But things will be changing, folks. Look at this. We're going to be back in the 70s starting Monday, some mid-70s, maybe some upper 70s, and then back into around 80 degrees by end of next week. So it's going to be a much nicer feeling-wise outside the next coming week. Our UV index, though, will be high once again. So if you're fishing outside, catching some giant fish out there, enjoying your time on the lake, be careful because the UV index will be at an 8. So that means 15 to 30 minutes on the sun, and you will get some burns if you don't put on any sunscreen. Air quality is at a moderate right now. Pretty good here in town, but just south, it is at a moderate, so not looking too good there. Tonight, though, 57 degrees. Rain and scattered thunderstorms will be in the area. Tomorrow, another warm day. Pretty hot, I would say, 87 degrees. Partly cloudy, a little bit of sunshine, and some scattered showers. Our 7-day outlook brought to you by Northwoods Furniture and Mattress does show a nice looking week next week, cooler temperatures and lots of dry weather. Jessica?
Thank you, Conrad. The high school state track and field meet is happening today in La Crosse. Athletes from all across the state are competing to try and bring home a state title for their school. One of those athletes who was able to do it was Meredith Richter, who won the state title after taking down Nora Grimben from Northland Pines in the 800-meter run. Richter finished with a time of 2 minutes and 14 seconds to bring home the gold medal for the Raiders. After a slow start to the day, she was happy to take first place in such a competitive event.
I was pretty fired up after the mile. It did not go how I wanted it to. Okay. So coach was like, just use, I know, like, you run on your mat, so use that energy. So I did, and I was like, no, I got this, I'm kicking. So kind of just pulled ahead, and I don't know.
Congrats to her. Three Lakes' Callie Volk also took first place today in the triple jump with a jump of 38 feet 9 inches. We'll hear from her later today as our state track coverage continues. President Biden is preparing to address the nation tonight after the Senate passed the debt limit deal overnight, 3 days before the Treasury Secretary said the country would run out of money to pay its bills. NBC's Alice Barr has the details.
Vote threshold having been achieved, the bill is passed.
Economic catastrophe averted.
We've saved the country from the scourge of default.
In a 63-36 vote, senators passed the bipartisan agreement to raise the debt ceiling in exchange for spending cuts. In a statement, President Biden called the move a big win for our economy and the American people, a sentiment echoed throughout his administration.
It builds on another step that the president secured last year when he passed the Inflation Reduction Act.
Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell praised the bill as an important step toward fiscal sanity. The measure also comes with criticism. Senators introduced 11 amendments, all shot down, including Senator Tim Kaine's attempt to block efforts to speed up completion of a controversial gas pipeline.
Virginians don't want to have their land taken for a pipeline unless there is a thorough process.
It's been scrutinized to the nth degree, and it's just been put off by an activist court, and I don't agree with that, so I don't agree with my friend Tim Kaine.
Neither side got everything they wanted. Party leaders say compromise was essential to saving the country from a first-ever default.
We're very, very happy. Default was the giant sword hanging over America's head.
The bill is now headed to President Biden's desk.
A Wisconsinite is quite literally getting in touch with the earth. After the break, we'll tell you about the De Pere man who says going barefoot is helping his health.
Today, it seems everyone can be their own service technician thanks to the internet. From servicing their own cars and engines to home remodels and projects, people are trying a little of everything. Here at Maher Water Corporation, we employ nationally certified and factory-trained technicians to keep your water treatment systems working to their full lives. We will treat you like our own family.
So if you want us to service your equipment, give us a call. But if you're the fix-it-yourself kind of person, we'll enjoy your funny video clips.
Welcome to Leisure City, where relieving stress and bringing more fun into your life is what we're all about. You'll notice new faces around, but we're still delivering the same great service we have since 1985. Come see our full lineup of hot tubs in a variety of sizes and styles. We're sure to have that perfect fit for you and your family. Check out our full line of indoor-outdoor patio furniture. That's Leisure City, your backyard headquarters of the North.
Experience the Wisconsin River Pro Rodeo June 9th, 10th, and 11th in Merrill. This is an award-winning rodeo that only happens once a year, so buy your tickets online today. Come watch the best cowboys and cowgirls from across the country compete in one of the oldest American pastimes. There's entertainment that the whole family can enjoy. Great food, live music, and the rodeo clown, Dusty Myers. Buy your tickets online for the Wisconsin River Pro Rodeo today and experience the excitement of the bucking horses and bulls.
High Point Sand and Gravel provides high-quality riprap, sand, and screened topsoil for almost any need. The high-quality rock and stone, boulders, and clear stone enhance the function and beauty of your home or business. Offering convenient delivery or pickup throughout northern Wisconsin and the UP, High Point Sand and Gravel provides premium landscaping materials, specializing in producing beautiful decorative stone for all types of landscaping projects. Contact High Point Sand and Gravel to help make your next project a dream come true.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depressing stuff.
That's what white people think.
You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Welcome back. Most of Wisconsin's 11 turtle species breed in late May through June, tend to lay their eggs on sandy or rocky ground. This makes the sides of the roads ideal, but also dangerous. The Wisconsin DNR has a few tips for people who might encounter turtles. Andrew Badgie is a conservation biologist with the Wisconsin DNR and shares a few tips.
Try and help it cross in the direction that it's moving, because if you put it back in the side where you think that's where it should be, there's a good chance that the turtle will still have to cross the road. So you won't really be doing any good for the turtle.
The most common turtles around the Northwoods are painted and snapping turtles. The DNR urges people to never pick a turtle up by its tail, as it can cause severe spinal damage to the animal. If you come across an injured turtle on the road, facilities like Wild Instincts and Rhinelander may be able to help you. As the weather gets warmer, most of us want to kick off our shoes and go barefoot on the beach, or maybe even in a park while lying on a blanket. The barefoot guy, however, goes without shoes year-round, and he lives in Wisconsin. Katie Shiro has the story on why he doesn't wear shoes even in the snow.
My name is Luke Titus, and I guess I'm the barefoot guy. Yeah, I've been going barefoot pretty much my whole life. I mean, I've never really liked wearing shoes.
Luke Titus, aka the Barefoot Guy, says most people might cringe at the thought of their feet touching the ground other people walk on. But for him, it's just natural. Whether he's hiking outside, shopping at the grocery store, or getting gas, he says he's probably shoeless.
Some people are just curious, or they think it's cool, so they want to, just ask me a few questions about it. Other people kind of give me a weird look, or they'll do the classic kind of double take sort of thing.
Luke says he goes barefoot because he believes there's some health benefits to doing so. So what are the benefits of us being barefoot right now?
So the main benefit is having strong, healthy feet. So if you wear shoes too often, it prevents the proper functioning of your feet. It kind of weakens and atrophies the muscles in your feet. And your feet are the base of your body, so you need to build a strong foundation.
While Luke is not a foot doctor, he does stand by his claims about the benefits of walking barefoot. He says a lot of people ask him what happens in the winter when it's cold, or in the summer when the pavement is hot.
It's 100 degrees out, and it's, I feel the warmth, but it's never an issue. As long as it's above freezing, I can stay out barefoot for pretty much as long as I want.
And he says he's pretty much never stepped on anything or injured his feet while barefoot. There's a whole community of barefooters like him, he says, with the goal of practicing the lifestyle and undoing stigmas like bare feet being illegal or unacceptable.
People should wear on their feet what they think is best for them. For me, that's going barefoot, and I try not to push that on people. I'm just trying to show that going barefoot can, in fact, be an option.
He says it's a big feat to let your feet out, but at the end of the day, he says it doesn't make him any different than those who choose shoes.
But pretty much my day is just like anyone else's. The only difference is I just do it all barefoot.
In De Pere, Katie Shiro, NBC.
Stay tuned to learn more about this limited time offer from Renewal by Andersen.
We all have that list of home improvement projects we need to do, and if replacing your home's windows and doors is on that list, you want to know that it's going to be affordable. I'm from Renewal by Andersen, and we've helped thousands of customers who are on a budget get our windows and doors for their home. How do we do it? Well, here's something you don't expect to hear from a window company. You don't have to upgrade all your windows and doors at the same time. We're really good at identifying the bad windows and those you can wait on replacing. And here's something we offer that you don't find with a lot of window companies or contractors: great financing options. With Renewal by Andersen, you can have monthly payments that'll probably be lower than your cable bill. With another program, you can get windows and doors now and not pay anything for an entire year. It's almost like free money. No wonder half of our customers finance. Before we talk about the warranty, think about other things you've bought. Did it sometimes feel like you had to buy the expensive extended warranty to get the good coverage? That's never the case with us. Our windows are so durable and our installers are so talented. Unlike some other companies, our warranties cover the windows, patio doors, and the installation.
It's really impressive that they sell the product, they manufacture the product, they install the product, because then you're dealing with one company, and you're dealing with one company that has a long-standing and solid reputation.
Let Renewal by Andersen help put great windows and doors in your budget this year.
It's Renewal by Andersen's 28th anniversary window and patio door sale, and we're offering our biggest new customer discount of the year. Before June 30th, save 23% on your entire project. And with our financing, make no payments and pay no interest for 1 year. Our anniversary sale ends June 30th. For a free appointment during our sale, call 715-318-3535.
Have you tried it yet? The big, green, completely unique Hodag store now carries Hodag root beer. On top of your favorite Hodag beer and Hodag vodka. Shop all things Hodag at the Hodag store on Lincoln Street in Rhinelander.
There's only one place in the Great North Woods where you can go to get all your Hodag goods. They got t-shirts, signs, bumper stickers, and more. Come on down to the Hodag store.
All right, folks, we did see a good amount of sunshine out there earlier today. Temperatures did hit those low to mid 80s outside, and then a little bit of rain moved in. We did have some scattered showers and thunderstorms outside. Definitely cooled us off. We need this rain. We are pretty much in a minor drought right now. It's been very, very dry the last month and a half, and there was actually a severe thunderstorm in Lincoln County around 30 minutes, but now that is long gone. The temperatures, though, have been very mild throughout most of the United States, especially the eastern part of the United States, and that will continue to be a trend until a little bit more cooler air starts to roll on in. Look at next week. We're looking at 70s, those overnight lows back in the 40s, so turn off those ACs and open up those windows.
Yeah, that'll be really nice.
It's gonna feel nice.
Thanks,
Energy
Conrad.
saver.
Yep. That's all the time we have. We'll see you.